never gonna die.
Momentum in Optic's side. Faze, the only 3 games they've dropped alternative.
Optic versus Faze, baby.
However, these guys are pros.
Fuck with them
They're
heavy.
bounce right back.
Hell yeah.
I think they match up
Little
very
recharge
well
holds,
against
game 1. Let's go,
thing I
baby.
looked at in the previous series with Optic versus Space Station is Optic were taking
Lock
all
in,
these
Jet.
one-on-ones. Anytime it was an
It's
individual
time.
fight, it was going in Optic's favor, it felt like. I don't feel that's going to be the same thing here on Faze. Some of these boys are shooting hot.
Yeah, I think Faze should.
Some of these boys are shooting hot.
This could be a great series.
Shout out Dave Walsh.
With Renegade, the man
I said
of the
shout out.
tournament so far.
Kind of like I said shut up.
Have been unbelievable. The Slayer of the
Shut up,
tournament,
Dave
awarded
Walsh. Imagine.
medallion, but unfortunately he goes down without being able to find a single kill, and Faze Clan start this with a little bit of momentum. Let's see if they can transition it to camo control.
And look at these teams.
Good old Optic Faze.
Slower play right away. Not everyone's just
This rivalry
flying
doesn't
right
hit
out.
as hard this
With
year
that
as it did
Faze,
in
they're
years
grabbing
past,
batteries,
but
they're grabbing this camo.
it's always
He's
good.
trying to escort his
It's
teammate
always
Trippy.
good.
Trippy does get
This
away.
year, it's
And
all about
Trippy has
Optic
been
and
doing this all
Rebellion, I
tournament
fear.
long, where he has been on top of the power weapons and power-ups, and it has been everything for Faze Clan. Right now with camo in his hands, he's got a couple of shots into a player in pipes, but it loses his teammates over at Elim. So now
Almost
he's in a
gets
tough
2.
position. When you're by yourself with camo, Dave, in this position, how difficult is
Optic
it
trip
to
cap
sift
cheese as they
through
flip
all the
A.
resources that he is?
There's just so much going on. You got to pick and choose what battle where you're going to make the most impact. You know, went from pipe, ran into a Matt Piper over there. Couldn't really do much in that situation, so he decides to opt on back and make sure he keeps control of B. Of all those strongholds, B is going to be one of the most hotly contested ones that can be contested all across the map.
Big kill on the bound, and Suppress also takes down Formal. That clears out all of Elevator for Faze Clan to try and take A. 3 go down for Optic Gaming, and now Trippy with Shock Rifle in hand. That camo transitions to Shock. So although
Yeah, like
FaZe Clan loses
between-
a couple members, Trippy does enough on the
between
map to keep
COD,
FaZe Clan's
Halo.
stability here early on.
I wonder if they ever matched up in CS.
FaZe were heavily outslayed to start this game.
Because they overlapped
but
for a
this
little bit
game
in
is neck and
CS.
neck. In fact, you see both these strongholds, A and B, going in the hands of Optic.
Shit, what
Definitely
else?
like Trippy is going to want back. They were in a very promising position with 3 down, but Optic have broken the setup since.
Apex,
Now on board
maybe?
with Bound. As Optic take the lead here, A and B in
FaZe doesn't
control.
have a Val team, do
Bound
they?
looks to approach C, and if they get a pick, Bound is going to fly into blue.
In such a good position right here. He's just waiting for them to
Does
make
FaZe
the
have a
first
Rocket
step.
League
They can
team?
either go for camo or they can run the long haul, and then Bound can make
I don't know,
this
it's a
move.
significant
Fails
amount,
that camo
though.
snag, but does not
I don't know
have the
exactly how many,
ability
because
to
I don't know exactly how many
attack by
esports there are both
Suppressed,
in, but
and that's gonna be
it's been a lot
unfortunate
across a lot of
missed
esports.
flank there by Bound. I thought
a
he
good
had the right
question.
positioning, just not the right timing and execution.
2 camos in a row going to face.
Oh, and he gets
Getting
fucking
caught out.
eagle-eyed,
Does a little bit
wow.
of damage to 2 different players. Wants to be able to play his life a little bit
Optic
better,
still
but
with
Optic
control.
does not let him. Unfortunately, though, for Optic fans, it costs everyone on Optic's life to put themselves in a position to take Penguin down, and that will be FaZe Clan once again retaking A. They have B. Optic will be able to rotate to C and take it off spawn, but it will be FaZe in control once again.
Yeah, the strongholds flip-flopping back and forth. However, that benefits FaZe in this position. They would much rather have Elevator and Batteries over C.
There's a player above
Elevator
Bound
and
right now. He
batteries.
does make sure Bound goes down before transitioning to this player above him. He's weak. Great teamwork out of FaZe.
Optic
allows
flips B.
Valkyrie to keep A control. Unfortunately, in the meantime,
FaZe keeps A,
the players
but
over at
they
B
still don't have
lost to the
control.
reinforcements to Optic, so it's Optic with a BC hold for now.
Yeah, you gotta wonder where these members of FaZe spawn. They spawned Elevator as well. Okay, the gig is up. They know Elevator spawns took place, but looks like they're gonna hold this obscure
They
set
flip
for
C,
a short
though.
time. A and C. FaZe cannot hold this for an extended period of time.
Here comes
Optic
Renegade and
can just
Legend.
divide and conquer too easily.
Here comes Renegade and Legend. The split spawns come in. Only one member of FaZe spawns with Falcated. It's a 2-on-2, and Renegade and Legend will win that a lot of times, and this time they paid off. They will transition A back into their favor, and Optic will begin to gain the lead again.
You know, Optic happy to trade that out. They're saying, hey, if you want to go try and grab C
Board
right
Ed.
here, we will happily trade Elevator for C plat.
This is where it could get ugly, Dave. Renegade picks up the shock. All 4 players.
Gotta be
in FaZe
careful
come
here,
out,
yeah.
respawn. They're stuck at Ellie, and I'm not sure they expect Renegade to be here with shock, and Penguin for sure doesn't. Has
Whoa.
his head ripped off. Renegade with a shroud, able to use it to block off some sight
Oh,
lines for the
beautiful
players on
play
the
out of
right.
Renegade.
Relocates to the catwalk here. Can't hit any of the headshots, but a lot of damage to FaZe Clan. Meanwhile,
And he gets
FaZe
out
fighting
clean.
for the one stronghold they have. Points still being acquired for Optic.
Normally, like, most people, once
Yeah,
you miss
throughout
that first,
time,
like, no-scope on the drive-by, you're fucked.
being there in the
That's such a good use of the smoke.
everything right in the end.
Gets
Renegade
out, does
goes
more
straight
damage,
out
gets
with
another
Trippy.
trade.
Damage has been done.
That's just
Points going
fucking
on the board
beautiful.
for Optic
That's
throughout
good.
this
Whale
situation.
Express.
It's the 3rd camo in a row, though, for FaZe, doing a phenomenal job of getting this
Poppin',
power
bro.
up, something
Welcome
that
to the
they're going
party.
to need to do throughout this series if they want to stay in. Not only is it
Welcome
important
to
make
the
sure the enemy team
madhouse.
has it, but the buff that you can get from this, that's a helpful
Legend
benefit
gets 2
you can
off
use to your
screen.
advantage.
Needs it
Losing
more
teammates,
now than
though.
ever.
And
though,
Optic should
considering
flip
that
B
two
back.
of his teammates just went down. Suppress now has to decide, does he try to be a hero or does he play the waiting game and wait
And
for
his
his
camera
teammates
runs
to
out.
spawn?
Almost should
Looks
have
like
heard
he gets
that.
a nice little flank over into elevator, and this is going to be the breathing room that FaZe Clan needs.
Huge
Suppress
flank
gets
from
two.
Suppress. He gets behind enemy lines. He's able to find an easy kill with the stick, and that's going to be A being transitioned as well. AC hold, untraditional for FaZe Clan. They won't hold this for long, but this gives them an opportunity to maybe get some slays and conquer B as well.
Yeah, FaZe's ultimate
Aye!
situation would be to
Live!
take B batteries while giving up the C stronghold. But the fact that they lost 2 members here, they're just going to have to sit back and wait. They're going to have to say that Optic can take B, Optic can likely take C, but somehow there must have been some great play taken over at C plat. Somehow FaZe were able to take control of C, or keep control.
Trying to bait them to go
even though
A.
Suppressed was over at elevator, not a part of that engagement whatsoever.
Yeah, Suppress over anchoring elevator, like you said. Falcon
Why
in the
even
meantime
cross if you're
finding
just
some
gonna
kills,
cross
getting the
back?
reset on the C, buys
What
FaZe
the
a
fuck
little
was the
bit
point
more
of that?
time to get out of this situation.
And one thing I always highlight in these games,
He just
this
died
team
for free.
Take a look at that stat screen right now.
213 and 11 is crazy.
213 and
What? I didn't even see that!
stat line, like you said, Wes. He has more assists than his entire team
213 and 11?
and doing everything right. Generally, if you're having, let's say, a lower stat
I would say
line,
do something, but I mean, he got a lot of assists. He's doing
If
something.
so, keep doing exactly what you're doing. If your team is losing, you need to swap.
Stop
some
dying,
things
you
up,
rad
play a
fuck.
little more
You
selfish.
penguin fuck.
Yeah, and all the players are very aware of what the stats are throughout the game. Everyone's pressing the back button throughout the death cam. If you're 213 and 12 and you're winning,
Damn, he
that's
couldn't
a
get the
recipe
stick
for
off.
success. Right now, FaZe in the lead. Penguin doing everything he can to make the game easier for Suppress, Trippy, and Falcated, having success so far. FaZe continuing as we cross this 100-point mark with the lead. This is a very impressive way for FaZe to bounce back from their elimination loss, or winner's bracket loss just moments ago.
Legend. I like this position. Take control of top goal,
Oh.
top glass. He wants to eventually make his way into B. He did not
Okay.
want that trade. He would have loved to get
FaZe
that
up
kill
by
and stay
40
alive
now.
with Pipes, but at this high level of play, when you're uncertain, you're going in for that melee. And
Optic
making
finna
sure
try
you
to
take
flip
someone
A.
down with you.
In strongholds, if you have 2 of the strongholds controlled, you're fine with people trading out. Eventually, you're still scoring points. Unfortunately, Optic Gaming won the fight over towards elevators. So
Oh,
FaZe
H4F.
Clan have work to do.
Look at my goat.
They only have B controlled, which is honestly the most difficult stronghold to have. But we've seen the success FaZe was
Hell yeah,
able to have
82.
with an AC setup.
Much
Now
love, bro.
Optic given that same opportunity here.
Yep, here's the exact same play.
Welcome to the party,
Optic
brother.
are waiting
It's good
for
to
an
have you here.
opportunity to see if they can take those batteries. They're hoping that FaZe make their way over towards C, and that way they can
Oh,
keep
easy now.
setup. But we're gonna have to see how this one all plays out. Great position there by Bound.
Suppress just kind of throwing his life away, with all due respect.
On either the A or the C
Multiple
stronghold,
times.
depending on FaZe makes the push.
This shock rifle was hand delivered by Suppressed to Bound over at White. Now Bound using it to put Trippy down is going to try and rotate
Playing a
towards
little
these
scammy,
elevator
I'm not
players,
gonna
you'd
lie.
think. A player's bottom middle, no problem, as Bound takes him out as well. 2 go down for FaZe Clan. 1 player is over at elevator. It's a trade with the elevator player. Now Bound has his eyes set on B. Pressure in
Wow.
B. Bound handles
Just gets in his
pressure
shit, bro.
like diamonds. and
3
figures
dead for
out a way to
FaZe.
trade that out.
Yeah, trying to, once he saw that B, or sorry, that A
Camo
or the
as
C
well.
pressure, trying to snag that B stronghold. Nobody else really jumping just yet. Actually, it's going to be Renegade. Gonna grab B, so there's the ultimate trade that Optic wanted in the end.
Nice shots from
They
Trippy.
trade one of
He gets
their
out with camo.
strongholds, and they get the AB setup.
4th camo of the game is going to Trippy as well. FaZe Clan continuing to dominate the power-up story. Optic has not had a single camouflage throughout this game, but they do have the lead. What can these camos amount to? So far, it hasn't been much, but eventually you have to think you play with fire, you get burned if you're Optic Gaming.
And interesting right there by Bound. Not sure if he was receiving fire from somewhere
Yeah, you're
else.
not even gonna contest and try to find the camo
Just
guy?
gonna go in for the 50-50 contest. Sometimes you gotta take those fights in battery.
It's a trip cap for FaZe Clan here, starting to climb up.
They
this
just let the
deficit
camo run out
will be
and let
erased with
FaZe
just
get the
one
trip
more
cap
round of
off.
slays. Optic Gaming slowing the game down, as you can see. Trippy trying to let the game come to him.
Yeah, always on that
Bound is able
H5
to get the
aggression
lead.
until then.
All this information given to these Optic players.
Oh,
Once in the
no.
check, it's Formal taking down Trippy, and now
Somebody
CMP
lagged
in
out.
hold of Optic.
Yep, and looking like a player lag out right there. So
Okay.
we will be getting out of the lobby here momentarily. We'll let the TOs decide what the score was at that time being.
I think it was Penguin,
that
bro.
was a huge moment in time. for
Penguin lagged
FaZe
out.
as they started to get back in that game.
Yeah,
getting
what
that
the
trip cap.
That's the issue, is what the score was or what was the score going to be after a trip cap from FaZe. How long could they have held it if
You see fist bumps being shared across the stage. We're going to be jumping back into here on Recharge Strongholds. It's a 30-point lead here for Optic Gaming. Faze has the work cut out for them. This first game can be a massive momentum shift for either of these teams to go into the series.
As we jump into this remake, I want to go straight into an Optic Gaming listen-in, and let's see the vibes on Optic Gaming as they have a 30-point lead. How do they sound coming out of this remake and going in to this game one of an elimination finals?
But yeah, kicking it right off the start. Here we go, Bound playing passive towards C, gonna take towards control. Last time we saw Bound and Renegade dropping early into the fight. Trying to make it way towards elevator, realizing that it's not going to be successful. Trippy gonna get the first blood, taking out Legend.
Bound has
Gonna be a
camo
camo,
right here.
not burned. It's a battle for that camo. Bound, the only one alive at the bomb center of that pit. Trippy, the only one alive for Faze. And that's going to be some points early here on the board for Optic.
Let's get into that Optic Gaming listen and see what Bound can do with this camouflage.
Watch out, bottom mid. You're gone.
Taking B.
Bottom mid. Watch out.
Yo, back.
Stack. Michael bottom mid. Michael bottom mid.
One place.
Michael bottom mid.
Yeah, bottom middle.
Nice.
Don't show face, man. Don't show face.
Bottom mid, top glass. Bottom mid. Jump on.
Watch out.
Just a minute.
He's gonna. System going. Yo, bottom B on one. Oh my god, he's
Long.
ready.
Red purple.
Yeah, just don't show face, man. You're gonna hear right there.
One's gonna be long.
God's playing tower, two of us
Yo,
are
bot. Yeah, play safe, bot.
Stacks and stacks.
trying to play C here.
Make door, check. I'm gonna try. What are we? Stacks again, pocketed. He's going C.
P5 one shot.
One's pipe.
Nice, see that.
Let's even keep he's going. Top cat. They know. Nice, top cat.
Watch out back door.
We can stop that.
L2. Come on, guys.
Good push up.
Check.
Got B. Are we gonna make a hit off this? Camo's coming now, guys.
Needles at bottom tower side.
They have shot.
Needles at bottom tower. Okay, slow down. Okay, it's okay. Slow down right here, okay? They're gonna push B. They're gonna go B. Okay, it's okay. Hang on. One stop A, down. Need to have one.
We saw T-Ban. You just play one forever.
Coming.
Play one forever.
I'm looking at bound.
I'm in man.
Top right glass. Absolute all two.
Alright, sorry, I'm back. Oh, wait until listening. Oh yeah, good shit. Yeah, sorry, I'm back. My girlfriend called me as well.
Optic close
In the
out
middle of all that
first
shit.
game.
Well, let's go. Optic go up 1-0.
Great calls there, especially from Lunchbox and crew, talking about, hey, give up that one. They're talking about that A.
It's also 425 on 420. Let's go.
Picking and choosing their battles wisely. They're
I'm
not
blinking to
shooting
that.
Test a hill every single time. They're making sure they're taking high percentage plays in battles.
Yeah, one of the big things I heard during the listening was Bound stuck by himself, last guy alive. He's in pipes. Renegade says to him, just play your one, like forever. Play your one. Just make sure whatever happens, you get yours. And Bound, that tells Bound immediately he doesn't have to like take some fight or feel pressed about the guy in B getting the stronghold. Like, and if you're looking at Faze, let's take some positives away from game one, even before the remake. They were getting every single camouflage, something that will benefit them heavily if they're able to replicate that same strategy, even though they didn't have success in
Pretty
strongholds.
fucking
I feel like in a
sick.
Slayer, you're kind of able to do your own thing a little bit more, and why is that, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, on Slayer, they're going to be able to play without.
All right, game
the
2, Plaza
objective
TS.
forcing them out at any
Lock
single
in,
time.
everybody.
So they're going to be able to spend that next 30
Lock
seconds or
in.
the
We
previous 30
really ended
seconds
this
just
series
saying,
now.
Hey, where do I want to be? What's the best way to set myself and this team up to get this next power up? So it's expect them to be able to just play a little bit slower, but also, like I said, it's it's their choice of how quick they want to play. They don't have time ticking against them.
Okay,
So
we've had a
expect them to
bumpy
be more
start.
passive.
We've had a bumpy start to this elimination finals, but let's pick up the energy in here. This series matters so much to both these two teams. Game 2's kicking off. Formal on board. The battle for camo underway. Legend's gonna be the first player to drop, and as Formal knows that he's gonna get pushed, tries to meet Trippy over towards the U-turn, but unfortunately he's gonna have repulse and win that one-on-one, and this is gonna be FaZe Clan's opportunity to gain early map control with Trippy going off.
And nobody falls in the net. Trippy almost turning that fight against Legend, but he sets up his teammate Penguin to get the camo and get the finish. But that camo wasn't picked up until around the 11:25 mark. Both these teams realizing you can't just jump up and grab that unless you have control of the map.
Yeah, it's not worth losing map control at all. Unfortunately, Penguin trying to choose the right target there, chooses wrong. And
Also, unfortunately, because of the weapon pads, the time that you grab camo doesn't matter really.
Camo gets removed from the map. The remove,
It's just going to come up at the same point anyway.
Is also the case. It's an 8-8 score line, but you had to feel like FaZe could have benefited far more from the map control that they once just had.
Yeah, I mean, that scoreline's not what you want to see if you're a FaZe fan. They had a 3-kill lead, they had camo, they had shock rifle, and all of a sudden, that's been diminished, just a 1-kill lead. And this game's also just halted. I don't think the game halting is actually a bad thing here for FaZe.
Not with shock in hand.
Not with shock in hand, not with how quick and having players like Bound and
Damn, not my goat.
Those ridiculously quick environments. But yeah, you want to just slow it down, get your own step, and see what picks you get at.
The game is slowed for now, but in 10 seconds, camo will be coming up and Optic's hand will be forced. There will be a battle in the middle of this map. Can Valkated make a play with the shock rifle? If he can find a pick and open up the floodgates, this could be where FaZe kind of open up the map.
Also, I'm just a little surprised seeing all this action taking place over at Yard and over at Poster Stairs. You gotta wonder, it feels like a couple other members of FaZe who are near snipe side either have been losing that engagement on Poster Stairs or not giving the support they need across the map. That was just a brilliant breakdown by Optic. Being on the back foot, having inferior positions, and breaking across the center of the map to get that camo.
Still a tight game, but for how long? Legend with camo on the back VR spots a ton of players, and look at FaZe going all stuck back U-turn.
This is a fucking war, bro.
So far, they haven't
My
been
God.
able to. It's a 2-to-1 exchange in the members of Optic, and they're up 15-14 now. Legend gonna back down, play his life. If he can get his shield, maybe he can find another kill. Does get another kill, but there's more FaZe Clan members to deal with, and eventually, Optic only come out on top by 2.
Optic by 2.
I'll take that. If you're in Optic's shoes, no longer than a minute ago, they were on the back foot, worse spots, and they got FaZe into a spawn trap, and now have this 3-kill lead. This game's moving quite a bit slower compared to game 1, no less.
I was going to say, how to suppress a live there. Yeah, this game's going to start to pick up the pace very quickly here, as the middle of the map isn't really being determined by either. Once it is established by one, the others will try to slow it down. But right now, there's a
nice
massive
shots.
map
What the
control,
fuck?
and that's a huge pick by Penguin as he tries to push into dip after finding that kill. Knows that there's several members of Optic in blue, but there is still one to snipe. A beautiful nade as he predicts Legend forced to back up towards blue because the pressure from FaZe was coming from the front, and now they can isolate these players to snipe as well.
Yeah, Penguin fully divided this roster. They're stuck over at Market, they're stuck over at Snipe, and he's right in between. He can pick and choose which fight he wants to join.
He
And
just
joined
ate that
both.
nade,
And
though.
August, both those picks, one over on Renegade and one over on Legend.
Somehow Renegade gets a trade with a shock beatdown, death grenade right there, and that slows down the tempo for FaZe just a little bit. One more player from FaZe isn't there. And now Optic Gaming still on the ropes a little bit, have less pressure, but here comes Suppress. The name of the game is, can you get in their face quick enough to split the spawns, and Suppress gets there.
Wow.
But a trade is unbelievable there.
Such great movement.
FaZe
from
by 3
Bound.
and they get camo.
Such a difficult kill, and that's exactly what Bound wanted out of that situation. He wanted just even a melee. The fact that he was able to get a full trade there, get the 3 shots and the melee is more than enough. One other point I'd like to make here is Penguin. We talked about how he was playing a different role last game.
and a
He was
shitty
handling
death
it
by
with his legs,
Trippy.
ton of assists. This game, he is the kill leader here for FaZe Clan in this 1-kill game.
This FaZe Clan, anybody that's in position to pick up the kills will do so. 12, 3, and 7 as Penguin gets taken down. Bound with another trade will make this a 1-kill game once again. Trippy did have the camo, but that's long gone at this point as Legend tries to make some space over towards LR, but the teamwork from FaZe will take down Legend and give them a 3-kill lead once again.
Just those bait switches right Looking for that
This is
quick
big.
finish over at LR, and Penguin just swooping in.
This is such a big moment right now. All of Optic is stuck in blue. This is a 4-kill game. This could go to an 8-kill game very quickly if Optic are not careful. Bound gonna try to be the first player to make his way into yard. You see Formal and Renegade now trying to create some kind of space here. Faze are trying to deny this space. Look how hard they want to control yard. They know Optic want this yard control, and they are not gonna get yard control. It is now up to 7 kills for Faze Clan.
That was such an incredible push by Suppressed. They knew Penguin wasn't gonna be able to charge that nade, but Suppressed flew right into yard, getting that finish. That mixed aggressiveness that you have here with the Faze roster is paying off.
Trapped in blue, still Optic on respawn.
Faze up
kills
8.
Separate the two now. Faze Clan look to tie this series up and will do so if they can get 10 more kills here in
This is
game
a
2.
big game out of Faze right here.
A lot of bad lit going on over at the
Optic
loop.
gets 2 though.
Valkated playing his own life though. We've seen some of these situations before. One of my critiques earlier of watching SSG play is they would always be focused on the one point of action. Instead, I love that play from Falcon. It says, I can't be a factor in this fight. Let me see if someone else
6-kill
is
game.
sneaking on by over here. Gets the camo and can now be a greater effect in this battle.
This is a wild situation right now. It's a 5-kill game. Falcated trying to get
Uh-oh.
involved, but he's losing teammates left, right, and center.
Uh-oh.
Spread out across the map, and all of Optic Gaming is picking up kills. Falcated still can't find a kill until he finally is able to finish off Legend, but at what cost? A 4-kill game now for Faze Clan. Still with the game in their control, but Optic's map control right now makes this very difficult for him to sift through.
Yeah, Falcon, love this. Doesn't find the player on the perimeter. Instead, goes right
4-kill
towards the
game.
player at Snipe. Still a 4-kill game, and you're hoping maybe for a bit more of a comfort zone there if you're a Faze fan. But the
Do they know
pressure's
one's
stopped.
there,
I like
bottom
this play
left?
from Suppressed. Both teams kind of have a little flank of their own. Renegade and Suppressed.
Oh,
getting
good
into
route.
lines. Renegade
Can't get
split,
out though.
paying
Still a
off.
4-kill game.
That's a big kill, though. Being able to finish off Renegade, even if he gets a double, it just gets you a little bit closer to 50. Still a 4-kill game, but now look, this is
They're all gonna run at him. They're all gonna run at him. Oh my god.
They are stuck in blue. They're gonna try this yard push. Does Bound have the same level of reinforcements?
Oh, that's such a
He
bad
does
death.
not. And the fact that you see someone poking through that door has to tell you that they have backup right behind them.
Yeah,
no
they're
one's
Still a
just
4-kill
peeking in the
game.
yard without support.
Yeah, and that's the big difference right now is FaZe were able to hold that push and deny the map control of the space that Optic were trying to get in that situation. When Optic were in that situation, Bound did not have the reinforcements. However, though, Formal in a 4-kill game has a shock rifle. The game turns into a stalemate. Camo will be coming up in 18 seconds. And Formal, if he can
What
find
the hell? They're aping them.
Oh my god.
That's 2.
That push by FaZe.
3-kill game.
Trade out. But still,
That's
damage
3.
done.
Wait, did he get stuck? He did. He did.
1-kill
49,
game
46.
for FaZe. They should be able to find a trade.
Camo as well.
Only saving grace that Optic has this moment is they do have that shock rifle. But these members of FaZe, they can hide around.
It's such a
tight
ratty
corners.
play.
They'd be happy. No one wants to charge Suppressed, even though they
And
have
FaZe
the
wins.
advantage.
Wow.
FaZe Clan answer back. FaZe Clan
That got
Clan
hairy.
collapse on back U-turn and are able to get that 50th kill. I thought it got scary when Formal hit that double.
Yeah.
With the chain damage.
Alright, I'm about to piss
Renegade's
myself.
damage,
I'll be
and then
right
all of
back.
a sudden slid into yard and got
Holy
the third.
shit.
I was like, oh no, but that one grenade that honestly killed the guy that was falling from yard, no shield, that trade is everything.
Yeah.
To give you what it should be a 48-47 game rather than a 49-46 game.
But I love the mixed aggressiveness from FaZe. Some teams, when they get in that position, they say, other team has snipe or they have shock rifle. Turtle up for a little bit. And they just turtle and they never make a move from there. The correct play there is to turtle up for a bit and then you make an aggressive push in one of the directions where the other team isn't perfectly set up for that.
Commit to something, right? Like,
Gotta make a move.
So often do we see the team that sits back often is the team that gets punished the hardest and the team that slips up and loses the lead. But FaZe Clan,
We will have to see which one plays out here. Is it going to be Legend grabbing most of this ball time here for the Optic roster? Are FaZe going to be stepping up here in game number 3, going to try to get their first lead in this series?
and I know that this has been what feels like a long series already with what's taken place, but when I looked at the map layouts and I saw Strongholds Recharge, and then I saw Solitude Slayer. I said 2 pretty fast games. 2 games that you could find yourself down 2-0 very quickly, or you feel like you haven't played a lot of Halo in order to determine your elimination finals. Finally, here in Game 3, Oddball is going to make sure that you felt like you played some Halo.
Game 3 and Game 4. A
Yeah.
Fortress Bomb, that's going to be taking a minute.
Yeah, you
Suppressed
you
also
will be
pushing
tested.
towards pillar sides, not seeing a single player. I like this play from Suppressed. Rather than take the long flank, he's like, I'm just going to join right back in the fight. We don't have to worry about any flankers, and we also have to know we're fighting against an even amount of opponents.
And it pays off. He forces Renegade to drop out of middle with that snipe. Renegade still has that snipe. Renegade actually
Like
then
I said, he's so
replaces
tough to
himself.
kill here. He's got the repulse.
Yeah, when you get repulse and snipe, Renegade's so good at whatever he does at the start of games to end up in this situation so often. Doesn't hit that shot onto the cam. It doesn't matter.
All right, I'm back. What did I miss?
Will go down. It
What
will
did I
be a
miss?
member of Optic, not only with camo, but one of them has snipe and one of them has the ball. This is a perfect start for Optic Gaming.
Yep, and it's going to be Formal with the ball this time. Setting up his team. See if he's going to make a rotation or if he's going to play this in the back of tower if he receives too much pressure. Looks like he's going to be dropping the ball and slaying.
How awesome is it right now that just two members of Optic Gaming are forcing all of FaZe Clan to have to rotate towards house. Meanwhile, the ball is cuts. Like, you would think that you could maybe leave these guys behind house, but Optic Gaming are too strong. They will figure out a way to flank you. Renegade now, as his teammates have gone down, it's his time to shine.
He said, "Give me that shit."
Play by him. He leaves that player, cuts.
He said,
gets
"Give
the
me
ball
that
all
shit."
the way to the tower, and this is an objective, efficient play out of Renegade, who is not known for this special occasion, but this is an awesome way of showing that you can adapt and evolve as a player because that
Whoa.
just got them another 20 seconds.
Yeah.
What the hell?
All our talking points out the window. Every single person picking up this ball, putting time on the board. Every single person except for Legend.
Surely he'll get some points eventually, but I mean, Renegade's still yet to die. Just 2 kills to his name, but his presence alone is a problem.
Damn.
Trippy can't get the last shot off as the body head with the snipe connects. Another body from Renegade. Another toe shot,
Damn,
we'll
bro.
call it, but the job gets done. FaZe Clan get fully put on a reset, and it's a 40-point lead already.
40-point
Whoa,
lead.
whoa.
Renegade still holding on to all this ammo. He eventually dies with that very first sniper of the game and only gives up 1 bullet.
A recipe for disaster if your FaZe Clan is letting Renegade live for that long with the snipe. The damage done is going to be difficult here in round 1 to overcome. Legend trying to play his life back pillars. He gets taken down. It
Brother
feels
got
like
fucking
FaZe Clan
jumped.
finally got some footing here in this first round. But what can they do with it? They still have reinforcements. Renegade is already off spawn in front towers. Such a fast player in order to get into that situation. Camo just went into the hands of Formal. No, Camo actually fell up in front. Formal not able to find that camo just yet, and as FaZe Clan start to win the fights over here, maybe they will be able to get this camo. Maybe they will be able to get a ball as well.
Okay, now it's FaZe's turn. They have the camo.
Ooh.
They have ball control.
Well, they did.
I love that play from Falcade up until the point he got taken out. I love the point that he was such a factor in fighting for that camo and then just going straight for the ball pickup to make it as efficient as possible.
Damn.
Trippy finds one, and camo snipe. You need more than one, in my opinion, to stop or come back in this game. And right now, being top middle, he gets caught out immediately. A good job by Optic to eliminate him, even though he caught the first player off guard.
Damn!
Gets his head ripped off. Jesus Christ, Formal. What was that shot?
Jesus Christ,
Ball is
it's
being
Optic
rotated,
Formal.
however, so even though 3 members of FaZe go down, they will have to slay again because of the rotation of this ball. It's beautiful by FaZe Clan.
But here's the thing is, Optic are aware of the situation. They know there's got to be somebody flanking through. Somehow they don't spot out Suppress. They eventually get the pick on him. But throughout this entire time, FaZe only had Sniper for that short little bit with Camel, getting that first pick. The rest of the time, they've been scrapping up time with this ball. Even if Optic are able to secure a few of these kills, they aren't in the perfect
All the
position to grab
assists.
this ball. We don't even know exactly where the FaZe Clan spawns will be. I'm guessing it's going to be Big Door.
They're going to spawn. They should be spawning back house right now, and they will. And although FaZe Clan made this a 20-point game, it's going to be another 40-point game by the time FaZe Clan are able to formulate some kind of a push. Now, Quantum Snipe in the hands of Formal, and in all honesty, that's the first shot I feel like we've seen Formal miss with this snipe. You do not want to test him. Trippy does just that, and doesn't have to pay for it this time around. He is getting shot in the back. One player overextending towards green is Suppressed, and Formal now stuck in really a difficult situation to deal with. FaZe Clan break the setup, but like I said, back to 40 points goes the score.
Yeah, that was just the benefit that Optic had in that situation where they were able to hold that ball so far away. We get them spun all the way across the map, especially when you have something like Snipe. You can watch one whole lane of the map. The time is going to be racked up.
Camo.
Can FaZe answer? Can they close this gap a little bit? I mean, 35 points.
Oh.
almost a full setup time, so you almost need 2 full sets for Faze to really get back in this game.
Yeah, but the issue is Camo just came up, and the fights were lost by Faze Clan. Suppressed and Trippy both get taken down on the Camo side of the map, so they do play the ball, but with this camouflage, that and multiple deaths going down for Faze Clan, that ball gets immediately brought right back to tower.
And let's be real too, play balls are not all equal. If you do a play ball at the incorrect time, or you do a play ball and your team loses full control and no one's really there to guard that new play ball, they can just take that ball right back to tower and any of those positions.
100%.
So I did feel like there wasn't really an effective play ball from the Faze side. We're at the 94-point mark. I don't see anyone from Faze who can really stop this. That's going to be round
And
one.
Optic takes
going
round one.
in favor of Optic.
And in all honesty, a dominant round from Optic Gaming here in round one. We said that they've been looking great on live fire. They just showed you that they are great at live fire no matter what the mode is. And this is where Faze Clan need to find some momentum here. Bound taking his time, waiting for the grenades. Such a patient play. Knows they're coming in. Unfortunately, the second one is going to hit him no matter how patient he was.
I like that play, though.
Most people look at that garage door, big door, and they say, nobody there? Okay, don't got to worry about it over here. And then all in 1 second, you have Bound flying all the way towards that command door BR and able just to lay down shots.
What
on
a
some
stick.
of the pillars.
Yeah, how often does that work out? Probably pretty often. When the second you lack the, or you're given the information no one's there, you kind of overextend and find yourself out in the open. So that's what Bound was playing for. Unfortunately, it didn't work out this time around. Somehow, like the start of every live fire game, Renegade has snipe top tower. It's almost like he spawns here with it at this point. The
Deadass.
camo is definitely the focus
Brother always got that shit.
of Renegade for now as he approaches this gun.
Oh.
Dangerous place to be with snipe, but he lands a body, and that's going to back up that one member of Faze Clan in a 2-on-2 situation. He's going to choose to go top mid. He's going to choose to rip faces.
Yeah, just playing this so good. I didn't see what ended up happening with that camo. Can't tell if someone from Optic grabbed it or if it ended up being burned off some of those trades taking place at scoreboard. But ball time being racked up here for Optic, but they have to get these kills. One dangerous part of this ball over at scoreboard or house is there's no real good way to play ball here. You have to lay out or the other team gets that setup.
Renegade can't hit the no scope, and Falcated able to finally take him down. Snipe is going to be out, however. This setup only lasts for 14 seconds for Optic, though, so a good job by Faze to break it fairly immediately. Unfortunately, you don't get
18 and 12 for Bound.
Not too much damage done here in round two, and Faze Clan will have control as 2 members are coming off respawn. How do they play this inside of the house setup, though, is the big question. We didn't see much of this at all in the first round.
Yeah, Falcated been staying alive for a long time here. Unfortunately, does a premature reload, ain't able to get that finish there. Formal, relaxing at the window with the ball.
As we say, adjusting the volume.
I was just like, is something wrong? But no,
yeah,
he doesn't have time to take a hand off the wheel.
My heart sank as I thought something was going on. Just almost on him. You know, I kind of want a little bit more, says Formal. 28 points now and still climbing. Renegade forced to quantum back towards green. He's going to have assistance from another player, but that leaves Formal by himself with the odd ball. I guess it did get rotated towards big door here, so that's massive to be able to play that ball if they are to lose this setup. But Falcated going down there tells me that Optic are going to be able to hold this setup potentially. Trippy and Suppress both.
Oh, we chow these.
From Renegade. He is
Ah!
on the map with that quantum. A little bit of an overchow, but you'll take
Nah,
the
that could have been an overkill. We chow those.
Himself too. He just figured if they're fighting one of my teammates, I will also get involved in this engagement. But it's just such a challenging kill to kill someone like Renegade. He makes it so difficult, and he's not afraid to re-chow at times to get that extra damage.
You never know.
Toes.
You never know when he's re-chowing you. You never know when he's relocating. It's such a difficult player to try and flush out of situations, especially when he's given the quantum translocator. So good luck if you're Faze Clan. Luck is something that they're going to need. They're able to take down Legend. That's a good start to maybe a potential comeback here. It was a 40-point lead, but here comes Faze Clan.
Damn.
Snipers in a row getting taken down, so Trippy opting not to go for that snipe, but
Snipe's still down there.
win the battle against both of them there.
Damn,
Massive
no one's
for
missing.
Faze Clan as they still attempt to hold this setup, but can Penguin get near his ball carrier? Multiple players of Optic are in-house, and they're coming for that ball.
Yeah, I mean, getting close to the ball carrier is important, without doubt. But the bigger story here on this one for Faze is they're just getting outslayed too heavy to be able to compete with the Optic here on this game. You look at a couple of these score lines, Penguin suppressed, -7, -9. They're just getting outplayed too heavy
Ah.
to make that up in objective efficiency. At some point, you have to get past a critical mass of kills to be able to go toe-to-toe with a squad like Optic.
Yeah, and when you think of a player like Suppress, it's traditionally the main slayer for this squad, so having maybe not his best game 3 so far,
Down
but
gets
there's a
2.
lot of time left, potentially. The ball is going to get played. I believe, no, it just dropped down back tower. It's actually
Oh,
good.
that's bad
Yeah,
for
'cause they were on
Faze.
top of that play ball. Because it stays back tower, it's going to be a couple of seconds denied from Optic Gaming, but you still have Formal with Snipe to deal with. And in all honesty, if you don't break this setup right now on this push, you're going to have one more, or game 3 goes to Optic.
Yeah, and Optic just let Faze make their push, and Faze taking a little too long with their push here. Eventually able to take out the ball carrier. But all that traveling to Trippy, going all
H4F.
the way from green, all the way to sneaking towards
3 dead for
front
Faze.
to back tower. Just
Faze is gonna have
but
one
that's so
crack at this if they
frustrating
move
because
fast.
you take these right routes,
They kind of got to desperate this
avoid these
though.
long sight lines, and in the end, you still just get taken out by a no-scope.
I mean, the worst part about it was you had Quantum, so if you get bodied, you're just Quantum back to your original place, but you got headshotted. Like, what do? Formal doesn't miss.
Camo
That's
for
not fair
Penguin.
sometimes,
They
Trippy,
gotta
I'm
go.
sorry. But this ball's still in the hands of Optic Gaming.
Down gets
He
one.
just 10 points, and then Penguin has to go. He feels
Penguin
the need
just
to
gets
go. Round
eagle-eyed.
plays an easy
GG.
triple Or a double.
Wow.
It's a triple. And Faze can go all 4
28 and
down.
18
Optic
for Bound.
Dominate. And I said dominate, Dave. Game 3 and take a 2-1 lead here in the elimination finals.
Faze have their work cut out for them. I was trying to praise them before, saying that these Faze boys, individually skill-wise, they're able to go toe-to-toe with Optic. They're able to win some of those individual fights, but some of the stars
Optic
that
goes up
hit them
2-1.
and especially in the form of Suppressed, was not there exactly on game 3, was not able to match Optic, was not able to break through.
I think when you look at that game 3 and you compare it to games 1 and 2, games 1 and 2 felt like they were a little bit closer. Game 3 felt like a bit of a blowout. You look at the power weapon control, look at the power up control. It was pretty much all
100%
Optic
82.
in that game 3. At all times they had Snipe. At all times it felt like they were in better position for
Renegade
the
as well.
camouflages and whatnot.
Renegade fucking
And that's what it
runs
looks like
live
when
fire,
Optic's
bro.
getting power-ups. You might not
I
be
swear.
doing much with the camos, but at least they don't have them.
Yeah.
And when the second Optics start to get those power-ups, those power weapons, the second this series starts to get a little bit uglier, it appears.
We're gonna have to see what goes on with that initial OS, those initial snipes. Is anyone gonna be trying to make any initial push for a bomb arm? Or are we gonna try to set some
We'll see.
set the tone of this game? Outslay for a little bit, get them on the back foot.
I bet you it doesn't.
Optic Gaming entered the elimination bracket.
I'm just fucking
in
around.
round
I'm
1.
locked.
They are now 1 game away
Let's
from
go, man.
a grand finals appearance, a rematch against Shopify, someone they have been battling all off-season long for the #1 seed, and they want their revenge. They can taste that revenge, and 1 game away. Can you put
Ooh,
Faze
I
right to bed? Can you
do
send
not
them
know.
packing and
I missed
focus
that.
on a championship?
But I wouldn't put it past him.
Assault with 2 S7s and Overshield on the map, and FaZe Clan on the ropes right now. Let's see how Formal treats the kickoff of this map for.
Renegade getting the first pick on the Falcade with the snipe. See where he decides to move from there, and that's gonna be 2 picks. That's also gonna be OS in the hands of Bound. First 2 kills going in favor of Optic. Can they make anything more of it?
Renegade not missing with Snipe. Hadn't been all
Optic already
game
moving
long
this
right
ball.
now, and that body shot onto the player and Suppressed had
Optic
the
got
FaZe Clan
kills.
snipe. So FaZe Clan snipe
And Optic has
now
2 snipes.
Also in the hands of Optic Gaming. I believe it's Formal and Renegade. Worst case scenario if you're FaZe Clan with snipes, and Formal is at your base. You have so much to worry about. These sightlines are so difficult. The bomb is going to be underneath, not being able to
That
be
was
played.
an interesting grab there from Trippy or Faze, because the bomb was already up to what, like let's say 15 seconds before resetting. They tossed a little bit out towards courtyard. I can't tell if they want this just to buy a little more time for their courtyard, or if they want this to reset in the bomb center. But I feel like Optic is fine with either one.
Yeah.
The fact that they just got a touch there means that they're bringing it in. That's gonna be 2 down. That's Formal's go sign to go take over the BR side. And Small over at the elbow.
Formal was going to snipe you Suppressed, but he'll let Renegade do it this time. He's going to get the bomb. He's going to be able to gain the lead here.
And that's a
with
quick
nobody on
arm
base.
for
It looks like
Optic.
they're in
Wow.
any position. And we warned you,
He is
FaZe
the
Clan,
demon.
if you give them
You are
those
correct.
snipes, bad things will happen.
Formal 5-0 start. H4F.
Only 2 members from
Oh,
FaZe
timing.
at the start of this game. Penguin and Trippy able to secure a kill. just not able to find those angles. It's so tough with these sight lines. When you get stuck
Oh my
in
God.
Faze, it can be so difficult. Able to eventually take out Formal and grab the snipe. Can they do anything with those last couple bullets though?
But it's a 1-0 lead. Everything from Optic getting to play from the lead from now on. We've seen how long some of these Fortress games have been throughout the offseason. Sometimes it ends 1-0, and now Optic Gaming get the comfort of playing with that lead. The pressure, building on Faze Clan with their backs against the wall. This cannot feel good, and it definitely doesn't feel good that Legend just snuck away with this overshield.
Yeah, Legend bringing that OS towards the basement. Unfortunately, each one of those melees, but
Oh,
such a great job.
why is
On
Trippy
close
just
to
burger
this
walking
game
at
for
him?
Faze. Almost all four down.
3 dead again.
That
Here goes
kill
Optic.
allocated. We'll see if that is enough pressure relief to stop this arm.
Yeah, they
Bomb
don't-
is coming in,
Optic-
but not having Legend still alive there could be everything.
Optic won't have Legend
Renegade's
in
gotta
order
go.
to try and deal with these respawners, but they're doing a good job. They've already found 2 of them. One of them is going to have to keep
Oh
this player
my
backstairs.
God.
He's able to do
That's
just
4
that.
dead.
Four
That's
goes
another
down
arm.
again, bound in
That's
the
a
armor
clean
circle.
4 dead as they're
18
arming, bro.
on 2-0 lead. What you
Wow.
thought was going to be 12 minutes might be 3, Dave.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're about
2-0 in the first 2.5 minutes of the game, and they're still dying. Faze is still dying.
This might be a sprint, Wes.
Neither one of these feels like
Faze
long
is getting
games right now.
fucking
Snipes are coming
slammed.
up. The
Optic is
saving
moving the
grace
ball
may be some
again.
potential, but look at Renegade's position behind enemy lines. The Suppress now he's here. Suppress is gonna have to hit a shot. You're gonna have to hit a shot, but your tournament's gonna get over. Renegade can't quite finish him yet.
Oh my God.
Shots were missed, and Renegade will have the Faze Clan snipe once again on their backstairs.
That is a critical fight, bro. 1-8 for Penguin, 1-8 for Trippy, 1-9 for Penguin, 1-9 for Trippy. Just getting fucking ripped. These brothers cannot do anything.
2 more deaths here from Faze could spell disaster for the final arm.
Prest also got 2 kills.
They're just not
They're getting
missing at this
shit on,
point.
dude.
The flow state is occurring. Bomb in the arm circle, forced to drop it, and it's the other sniper, Legend, right now.
But now they got the spawns they want.
Holy shit.
So they're happy to trade out a couple kills there. Optic now have Spiral Side, and they just have to let a couple kills flow in, especially from Brown,
Well, 2
supporting
dead.
from Tower Side, and then they can start the arm. Penguin panicking, gets
Oh my God.
It starts the arm.
That's game. That's game. That's series. That's match. Go home.
That's the most
Faze.
disrespectful shit I've ever seen.
Oh, the
He's just gonna
name
catch
through.
it. Nah, it's fine.
But Bound is there, and they let him hear about it. Optic Gaming in the most
Oh
impressive
my
Fortress
God,
bomb
they
I've
just
ever
shit on
watched.
them so hard.
Will be on their way to the grand finals from elimination bracket round 1.
Yeah, actually, bro. Is this me getting shit on in matchmaking? Is Legend flashing his ass to the crowd?
Is up next.
They just outslayed so hard right
Oh
there.
my
That
God,
game was
son.
less than 5
Well,
minutes. I saw 42
We have an
kills
Optic
on
Shopify
Optic
finals.
side. Every single member on Faze
Just like we thought we would.
13 kills. 13 kills to 42 kills. Just a massive outslaying. Getting 3 arms.
But Optic got to do it the hard way.
This weekend.
Yeah.
Optic got humbled early on.
Optic got to do it the hard way. They got to win 2 series.
Brick by brick through this
I assume
lower
2 best of
bracket
7s as well.
and made their way
So if
all
Optic's
the way
about
to
it,
the
we could be in
grand
for a long
finals
night. But
based
also,
on
I don't know,
this
Shopify looks scary.
value.
I could see Shopify winning in
They
1
believe.
series, you know what I'm saying?
You can tell they
I could see
believe
them
they're
winning
all of a
4-2 or
sudden
4-3 in 1
play
series.
like Optic Gaming is supposed to play.
You know what I'm
Those
saying?
last 2 games were
we'll
absolute
see.
slaughters, and that was
Because Optic,
the
also you
most
got to think,
impressive
has had to
way
make the
enter
run from
into a
Losers
grand
1.
finals from the elimination bracket
Almost
that I
lost
have
in Losers
ever
2.
seen.
You had to reverse sweep.
Faze Clan going to be left kicking their feet a little bit, wanting to play it a little bit better, but how hard is it to stop this Optic train now that it has gone
I'm not
from
saying I don't have
elimination
faith.
bracket round 1 all the way to this point, and when you started
I think he
seeing
might have
them
said that.
in oddball
I
and
think he
in
might have said
assault,
that, House.
that is insane.
Taking a look
Yeah.
at those kills.
I don't doubt Optic
14
to be able to
kills
put up a
total
good
there
fight
for
and to be
FaZe.
able to get over this mountain.
And it's everybody on Optic.
I think they definitely do have the ability, but
It's everybody. It's not just
Every
one.
single player on that roster.
it's going to be a tough ask.
KD
That's all
is
I'm
the
saying.
lowest.
This is certainly an uphill battle for
Why'd you
Optic.
step it up, bud? It was perfect. It was perfect. That's textbook Fortress Bomb.